Okay, one thing that I have maybe glossed over is the difference between the cogs and the colts in this show. The cogs are the ones that work in the fields. The colts are the ones that actually are the soldiers. And that's just into the badlands. Alright, but in episode 3, Quinn and the Clipper Force are riding up to the widow's house, and he says, "Fan out and come on and find the widow." Well, basically, MK goes. Sonny says to the Colts, "Stay here and be the lookout." Well, MK basically just says basically, "Fuck it, I'm going in and get my book," because he's seen it sitting there on the widow's actual desk in episode 2, which he was in the house. But he went in and got it, and when he met up with Sonny outside of the house, and once they had gotten together back at the poppy fields, and he's like, "Hey, Sonny, I got this book." He's like, and Sonny's like, "What, you went into that house?" He's like, I had to get the book." And basically, when Quinn goes upstairs and finds Lydia, and he's like, "I was avenging Ryder, our only son," and she wasn't too happy about that. Well, basically, what had happened was it was a one-on-one fight between Quinn and the widow, and he ends up catching one of her swords with his bare hands. And then the tumor strikes, which I believe I forgot to mention, he either has a tumor or a growth, and that's what happens to Vale's parents. Why he kills him is because he thinks that he's gonna tell the doctor's gonna tell everyone and make him weak. But it is not the truth, because once he finds out, he says that I will be respectful and I will keep my mouth shut, and he tells Sonny an enemy is who I name. And he takes Sonny's sword and goes in there and kills the doctor and the wife. Well, I'm getting off topic here. And also in episode 3, Jade, the bride-to-be, goes to Vale and says, "I can't let Ryder slip away. I am so sorry to hear about your parents. Could you please come to the house and save Ryder?" So she arrives at the house, and she's like, "Well, there's swelling in her brain. We need to relieve the pressure." And Lydia's like, "Well, you're not touching my son with that." And she's like, "Well, what happens if we do nothing?" And Vale says, "If we do nothing, he'll be dead by nightfall." And she's like, "You gotta keep his head straight. And then, if anything, they do the surgery, they wrap his head, and I want to say by nightfall or by the next day, he is actually waking up, and when they call for Sonny, they say Ryder actually tells him who sets him up, and Sonny actually gets MK to go with him, and he's like, what, another training exercise? And he's like, no, we're going to a dollhouse. He's like, I want you to get up on that ledge. She's like, I'm going to be watching from down here. Just give me a description of the girl. And he's like, well, she will be running for her life. And basically what happens is as soon as he busts in, she flips a blanket and grabs a knife and slices Sonny, and he continues to fight with this girl, and she bursts out a window and he bursts out a door, and it's just high action and fighting from there. And then he's like, I'm gonna ask you again, where is the widow? And she's like, you can't stop her. And next thing you know, she commits suicide by flinging herself off of a rail. And the thing is, MK is down on the street with Tilda, and they're going at their little argument, and he's like, now go, go. He's trying to protect her, and I can see the protection. I honestly can. And MK and Sonny end up going to Vale, and Vale goes, is there anything I can do for you, Regent? And he's like, I need a stitch job. And she walks over to Sonny, and she's like, Sonny, what happened? He's like, I'll tell you once you're stitching me up in the back. And they have their little discussion in the back when she is stitching him up, and she's like, who's the boy? He's like, my Colt. And basically, she's like, why take on a Colt? And he's like, nothing's changed, we're still leaving. And so basically, back at the house, Lydia says 73 days. That's how many days the nomads have had you. I even started praying again until you walked into this house. I'd rather you hate me than stand over your grave. Okay, so back to the book. Sonny ends up hiding the book under his mattress, and MK finds it and takes it to Vale. And as he hands it to her and he says, can you read it? And she's like, beautiful book. I've never seen this language before. Well, all of a sudden, the Baron appears, and he's like, your door was unlocked. And she's like, is anything wrong with Ryder? Where's your escort? And he's like, oh, I sometimes walk alone, and helps me clear my head, and Ryder's fine. You saved my son. Now you're gonna save me. Okay, so this was episode 3. Leave me suggestions, comments. Peace out. And thanks for watching.